Thank you for being able to make it out to the City of Aiken Planning Commission meeting tonight. And before we get started, there are some guidelines that I would like to go over. As I reminded myself, I wanted to make sure I had my cell phone turned off or placed on silent. The rules that we need to go over for the meeting. Meetings are public forums in which many opinions are expressed and the business of the city must be conducted. As such, discipline, honorable, and professional decorum is paramount. Courtesy and respectful communication is required. During public hearing, all questions and statements for the public shall be directed to the chair. If you wish to speak, raise your hand and I will recognize you. Please approach the podium and state your name and address. In order to allow an opportunity for everyone who wishes to address the Planning Commission, speakers shall be limited their comments to the subject being discussed. Each speaker will be given 5 minutes to address an issue and may only address an issue once unless questions from the Planning Commission are posed to the speaker. Our first item on the agenda for the night is to approve of the minutes.
I move for the approval of the minutes as submitted.
It's been moved, by Commissioner Carmen, as well as second by Commissioner Connor. Are there any questions? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by raising your hand. Motion carried, 1 or 2 absent.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Right. There are no old business. We'll move right into the new business. Application number 262020, annexation request. Applicant Laura O'Conwell, location 1117 Conger Drive. The current zoning is RC, proposed city zoning is RS15. Are there anyone here that would like to speak in favor of this applicant? Anyone here that would like to speak against this applicant? Okay, back to the commissioners.
Mr. Chairman, in regards to application 26-20020, annexation request, current zoning RC, proposed zoning RS15, I make a motion that we move to City Council for approval.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Commissioner Clarkson and second by Commissioner Epps that application number 262020, annexation request be sent to City Council for approval. Are there any questions? We're ready for the vote. All in favor, let it be known by raising your hand. Motion carried. Item B, application number 262021, request by Michael and Judy Reif for annexation of 0.85 acres on 2065 Pine Log Road, tax parcel number 089-11-18-003, from residential single family conservation to residential single family RS15. Are there anyone here that want to speak in favor of this application? Anyone who opposed this application? Okay, back to the commissioners.
I move that we forward this to the City Council with a recommendation of approval for application number 262021 for the property located at 2065 Pine Log Road. Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Commissioner Carmen, second by Commissioner Connor. Application number 26-20021, 2065 Pine Log Road, be sent to City Council for approval. Are there any questions? We ready for the vote? All in favor, let it be known by raising your hand. Motion carried, unanimous. Next application on the agenda, item C, Current zoning, excuse me, RC residential proposed multifamily high density, application number 26-20022. Location Thoroughbred Run, Powder House Road and Old Powder House Road, and Tributed Parkway right of way and tax parcel number 122-111-03-02 and portions of number 122-11-08-010, 003, 004, 005, 009, and 011. Once again, proposed city zoning, residential, multifamily, high density, and the current zoning is single-family conservation. Are there anyone here that would like to speak in favor of this applicant? Come forward and state your name, please.
Hi, I'm Justin Lyons. I live at 3010 Old Powder House Road, where one of the parcels is adjacent to, or technically it's on our property. Well, not our property, it's yours. We have no objection to this. We like it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else here that would like to speak in favor of this applicant?
Mr. Chairman, before we hear any more public comment, since this is regarding maps and whatnot, can we switch to the corresponding slide? Thank you. Apologize for the interruption.
Oh, no problem. Thank you.
Oh, that's better than the one we got.
Anyone else would like to speak in favor of this applicant? Anyone who would like to speak in opposed to this? Come forward. State your name, please, sir.
Yeah, I'm Dr. Bob Van Pelt. I reside at 303 South Bank Drive. I'm president of the Mallard Lake Homeowners Association, and I'm speaking for our subdivision. We urge the city to pause this and reconsider the annexation. We don't believe it aligns with the Aiken Comprehensive Plan, okay, as the plan includes prioritizing quality of life, but also natural resources and habitats. This area will be a devastating loss of old-growth forest, wetlands, and impact to a lot of wildlife in the area. You have deer, cockaded woodpeckers, fox, you have eagles. It's a tremendous area for wildlife. And it keeps getting pushed into smaller and smaller areas with all the work that's being done over there for phase one. All right? And it's just going to add more congestion. This whole phase two is going to add more congestion on Whiskey and also on East Pine Lot. So it's not going to serve anything. Let's face that. I've been here for 35 years, and I can speak to that. And why do you need bicycle paths and a median? No other road in Aiken is like this, okay? No one with common sense is going to ride bicycles on East Pine Log or Whiskey and cut across through here. They just don't do that unless you want to take your life in your hands. One of the city employees told me that for federal money for this project, it requires to have a median and bicycle paths. Now, I question that. And as a city resident, I request to see that in writing. And I'm asking the city to verify this and provide feedback at the next meeting when it goes to city council. Okay? If you look at the bypass that was supposed to help alleviate traffic, what do? They put this path in there that essentially no one uses when it could have been used to help alleviate traffic. So that was money wasted. All right? Thanks for your time.
Thank you, sir.
Well,
You have a question?
I have a question. Your concern is with the parkway.
We're concerned with the devastation also in the wetlands that you're looking to annex.
Okay, because what is in front of us is simply an annexation of the property the city has bought. We're not really approving its use. We're not approving the parkway itself, and I must admit, I've been on this for a few months, and I'm not exactly sure what that process is, but I thought maybe that's already been decided by the city council at some point. I don't know. Right. But all we're being asked to do is an annexation. We're not agreeing. The city already owns the property.
Right.
So we're not today voting on yes or no for the parkway itself.
Understood, but we're just expressing our concerns. This is a forum. This is
Sure.
online here, so we wanted to express our concerns about that area since we live right there.
And that's what my next question is. Could you kind of show me where your subdivision is, so I understand.
Our subdivision, here is thoroughbred, here's the wetlands over here, here's the pond right here. But right here, we back up to thoroughbred, and we go up to, East Pine.
Okay. Thank you, Chairman. That's all I
Thank
have.
you.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the chair? Anyone else would like to speak against this? Come forward, sir.
So I just want to share, first of all, Stuart Fowler, 1749 Powder House Road, Southeast, Aiken County. For context, that location is between Mount Harris Baptist Church and the sanctuary community, that tract of land there. So my wife and I began building our home in March of 2021. During our building process, we never experienced water runoff onto our property from adjacent properties, nor did water shed from our property onto adjacent properties. Our property has held its water. I have an email here from Stewart on City Council dated February 5th, 2021, in which Stewart states that he met with County Engineer, City Engineer, Rick Toole, and JMT regarding the impact of the Whiskey Road Stormwater Project on Parcel B. At that time, in the context of the map, Parcel B was our property. I quote from the email, "None of the stormwater project plans impact Parcel B per County Engineer Teresa Crane, City Engineers John Poole and Mike P., and City Consulting Engineer Rick Toole." In September of 2024, approximately 7 inches of rainfall occurred with Hurricane Helene. Not one drop of water was released from the 18-inch culvert from the Powder House Connector property onto 1749 Powder House. 7 inches of rain, not one drop of water. I have a copy of the plat here also. We've experienced flooding on May 12, 2025, when I've met with City Council, I've met with the county, I've met with people at the state. The county tells me to talk to the city because I'm the county. The county tells me to talk, it's vice versa. County says go talk to the city, city tells me go talk to the county. At the June 23rd City Council meeting held in these chambers, Keith Lawrence spoke on the stormwater issue related to the Powder House Connector. He said it was a requirement to release less stormwater once land is developed. He went on to say it was illegal to increase drainage. He then explained that the May 12th flooding event was due to extremely heavy rainfall that occurred with cutting in the retention ponds for the Powder House Connector. So, at the time, a local resident spoke about the issue. Keith offered to fly a drone over the area to better explore it, and the city council said they would stay on top of the water runoff and stormwater drainage as a result of the overall Powder House Connector. Aiken has received little rainfall in the meantime, so fast forward to February 27th, Aiken received 3 inches of rain over the 36 hours. Now remember, May 12th, my property was flooded for days on end. That 18-inch culvert, what happens is all this water comes up and dams against Powder House. You can't see it if you drive by because of the wood line. In the bottom of those woods, it's about 6 foot deep. My little 18-inch culvert will run until all that water is released. So we had a flooding event May 12, 2025. February 27, 2026, we had a 3-inch rainfall. Again, a week of flooding through my property. I sent an email with a PowerPoint documenting this, and on Sunday, March 1st, Stewart replied that staff will be out to address the issue on 3/2. No other updates have been offered since, and we received very little rain also. Please consider addressing stormwater and runoff issues before approving additional annexation and zoning changes request within the overall footprint of the Powder House Connector. And the flooding is significant. I can't use half of my property for days on end. I get equipment stuck down there. Here's the water dammed up against the Powder House Connector. Go jumping in, it's about 6 foot deep. And here's the drainage ditch coming off the retention ponds. And my house is on, it's a 20-foot creek, 20-foot wide creek that flows immediately to the face of my property and ultimately goes to that drain. So every drop of water that comes off that property flows through my property, and then I'll flood everybody behind me. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Stewart. Any questions from the commissioner? Anyone else that would like to speak against this application?
My name is Todd Stilp. I live at 1982 Banks Mill Road. Everything that happens to his land ends up on my land. And I guess I start with, you made the remark that you're just here to approve annexation. Well, that's the beginning of part of the problem. Right now it's single, now it's gonna be double or multi. So basically, that's just additional water. Where's it gonna go? I have been doing this for about 3 or 4 years and lived at 1982 Banks Mill Road since 1984. Didn't have this flooding problem. In the past 4 or 5 years, at least probably 9 to 12 times a year, I have 3 to 5 acres of flooded land that I can't use. And I almost had to need a lifeguard. Technically speaking, I should have a fence around it because I could drive a boat across it half the time. And all this water is coming from the city, the state, the county, whoever, it's all the water's coming down to my house based on city council, county council, your engineers, everybody's engineers saying, we're using the most stringent, numbers to restrict how much water can come off the land. Well, if that's all being done, why am I having 3 to 5 acres 10 times a year? If any one of y'all lived in a neighborhood and you're representing people, what you're doing right now, and you had 3 to 5 acres surrounding your house, and there was 2 to 3 feet of water for 4 or 5 days, 10 times a year, your neighbors would be complaining like hell. That's what I'm dealing with. So for you to annex this from single to multi, you are adding to the problem. It starts with y'all. And I mean, I'm blaming y'all this day forward. And I've told the city council, the county council, they're at fault. Everybody says, well, this is the past. Well, you're sitting here today, so now the onus is on y'all. Any questions?
I just have a comment. It sounds like the concern is that this natural land, there's no obligation as natural land to control that. Once it gets touched, then the obligation to direct water comes into place. So I'm a little bit confused by the complaints here because what you're saying is don't change this, yet we have all this flooding.
Well, okay, right now there's no water. I'm in the landscape contracting business for the last 48 years. I deal with this every single day. And my clients are responsible for what water runs off their property. And you have so much can run off basically normal runoff. I can deal with that. But the problem is no one's restricting or containing their water and letting it off at a rate. If it was so well done, then why am I, in the past 3 to 5 years, gone from no flooding to now have 3 to 5 acres on a regular basis of flooded land?
I understand your
And so this raw land right now, as it sits, if it's zoned single family, let's just start with that. X amount of houses are going to shed X amount of water. You rezone this to more houses, more asphalt, more roofs. Right now, the sanctuary, every single bit of the water from the sanctuary ends up on my property, 100%. They didn't even split that water left and right, or they should have. When nothing was on it, I got flooded. Now every lot has asphalt, sod, and roof shingles, and every bit of that water is flooding the sanctuary retention pond. It's flooding my property on day one.
All right, let me just clarify here. The intention is for this property to be annexed into the city so that it can be a right-of-way for, it's not intended to be a development with multiple houses on it.
Well, any type of, then why is it being, why are we here today?
The reason behind it, why we're here today, is to change the zoning, but it's not a no zoning. It's going to be no zoning. It's going to really be the right of way. So it's not going to have a zoning to
Well,
it.
even putting a road, any work that's been done, like the gentleman before, no water ever came on our property, but ever since they put in the gigantic lakes, the water, as soon as it comes in, the water's coming across onto our property. So whatever happens, whatever moves this forward to allow it to be able to do other things is adding to the property, adding to my property being flooded one way or another. If this doesn't change, and if it's such a non-issue, why are we changing it?
Well, the petition is for it to be annexed in the city so that it can be right away for the
The city.
for the extender.
We have to give it if we're annexing a property, we have to give it a designation. The designation that we've decided on is, or that we're overseeing now, is RMH. So we have to give it a designation if it's coming into the city. It's coming into the city for the right of way.
Which is the adjacent property designation that's already part of
and
the
also-
city. Do we have that other map?
And real quick too, when it comes to density,
Right.
RMH is the
So you're
zoning
telling
of
me
Mallard as well.
this is not, what we're doing, this piece of land here is not gonna add to any more water coming onto my property?
That's not what is the question before us. The question is this an appropriate annexation for it to be a right-of-way for
Well,
the
okay,
Powder
then
House?
if you do not annex this tonight, then basically, if I do get water, it's not y'all's fault, because you didn't annex it. So I'm saying don't annex it. If that slows the process down, so be
It
it.
sounds like you have a problem.
Well, the problem's not getting any better.
Right,
It's
but-
getting worse.
And there is recourse if in fact water is being directed to your property. There's recourse, and you know that as a landscape architecture.
Well, that's why I'm
architect.
here right now.
Right,
And
but-
I don't feel as though I have to hire a lawyer to sue all these entities. And that's been recommended by a number of people, but I'll be damned if I'm hiring another lawyer to sue the city, the state, the county, whoever. Y'all, it's every time we're making accommodations to further this development. I'm all for development, but be responsible for what you're doing. And everybody keeps telling me everybody's being responsible. I'm doing our job. I'm doing this, but everybody takes their widget and keeps kicking the can or opening doors.
Well, this property
I'm getting more and
presently,
more water every time it
yeah,
rains.
this property presently is not part of the city. So if this is the problem, the city would not be the appropriate person to bring the claim if it's going through this track. Once it becomes part of the city, then that's who you would blame if, again, water comes off of this and is directed toward
I'm
you.
just on the record that
Oh,
if you don't approve this, then that just one less thing that I've got to worry about. You approve it, then it's going to move forward, and that's going to add to my problem eventually. What you approve tonight eventually is going to be a problem for me because somebody else is going to wiggle it through, wiggle it through, wiggle it through. So you're adding to my problem.
Now, what we approve tonight, we'll be a recommending body going to city council. You'll have a voice again in city council if you do not agree with what we
Well,
approved
then
tonight.
make
So
sure
your other option would be to go to city council. And again, the only thing we're trying to prove tonight is because the city, we're designating the land as far as a right of way.
Well, then I would appreciate
So,
y'all
and the other part of it is, one of the things we will remind each other of is the decorum that we ask everybody to have, professionalism. So if you don't mind, I would just ask you, when we're speaking, let's keep the language to something that will be accommodating to every person that is here, if you don't mind.
Well, then
And-
all
and-
I ask is that, make a point here, a side note, that needed to be cautious of what they're gonna do with all the
And
water.
we're looking at that, and we appreciate your comments, and I hate to say, but your time is up. We have another person.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I think one thing that needs to be kind of considered is that this is an annexation request. It's not even required to be annexed for the parkway to go forward. So if we were to deny annexation, that wouldn't have any impact on the parkway.
It wouldn't.
This is almost just cleaning up some,
It does need to be annexed because it will become our parkway. Therefore, we need to have it within the city so that we can work on it, we can construct it.
okay, it has to be within,
It has to be annexed.
okay. Oh, I was wrong.
Mr. Chairman, having this annexed in puts the onus on the city to correct those issues that you are having on your property. Like you stated, right now, you're looking at a problem to where it's bouncing back between city and county. If this parcel is annexed into the city, now that gives you some leeway to speak directly to the city versus bouncing between all type of entities to do so.
That's right. It becomes very
I-
clear who controls
Just
that at that
a
point.
quick pause here. I'm all about dialogue, all about conversation, but public hearing, hearing from the citizens, and might want to get back to that, and then we can, discuss amongst ourselves a little bit later.
Okay.
Butch Robertson, 1842 Banksville
Butch.
Road. Butch.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I just want to clarify a couple of things. I'm getting this water too. But as far as the annexation goes, the pond at Mallard Lake, which is owned by the city, Mara, I'm correct on that, correct? That's where all the water's coming from. So the city issue, the drainage that's coming out of the pond in Mallard Lake, and we've met with numerous staff members. I've met with Stewart. We have the slides, we have the videos, we have the drone footage. It's coming out of Mallard Lake because we're dumping more and more water into Mallard Lake, and then it's going down Woodward here. Now, Maybaum, you may remember, annexed the property, the large parcel that's off a thoroughbred down at the bottom. And to my understanding now, after talking about the water and all, Maybaum has pulled back from doing that development. So I'm not sure, other than what I just heard, that we have to have it annexed for the city to do work. I thought that this was state funding, so, but I'm not sure why we have to keep annexing property. We need to pause and get everybody at one table and figure out what we're doing before we put more things into one place. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you. We do have the city engineer here, Mr. Thomas.
We've met with him before
Oh,
and the
it's-
rest of the staff.
So, thank you. Yes, ma'am. Can you come to the podium, please, ma'am, and state your name? Thank you.
Gail Wilkinson, 1614 Powder House Road. And I just came because I tried to find out some information about, because it said Tribute Parkway Part 2, and I was like, well, what is Part 1? And we're in a neighborhood, and I'm wondering where these, I tried to get maps, and I don't know how I can access them. They said go to the City of Aiken site and look on the development plan, and that was going down a whole long hole this afternoon trying to figure it out. But my concern is, you know, you did say, I think he said that he was concerned about the water, and one of you commented that might not be a problem because, not a problem, but it might not be a problem whether they annexed or not because it doesn't affect the thing between Whiskey Road and Powder House, the Powder House connector. So am I understanding if you annex the Powder House connector is going to be coming through Thoroughbred Run or Woodwardia Glen?
Yes, that's correct. It is.
So we're like a neighborhood.
Comes right through here.
If you're interested in the plans, you can reach out, and in fact, I can give you my card to the planning department, and we can get you an actual map.
Okay, that
of
would
the-
be really helpful
Yeah.
because, you know, I've been told that the woods behind our house are the last remaining unused land, and I thought, yeah, unused for about 150 years. We have a lot of things that use it. They may not be human, but, and that,
So, but yeah, I think obviously if you should see the layout of the parkway itself, so you know where it's actually
because I
going.
have seen that previously, but it's kind of been like a little step and a little step, and we're not sure here and we're not sure here, and so all of us in the neighborhood are kind of like, what? And they said, of course you're going to the meeting, and of course I would, but thank you very much I know I said little, but I just need to ask some questions, how
Certainly.
I can get access.
Just reach out to the planning department, we'll get something to you.
Okay, I will certainly do that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to speak in opposition to this?
Maybe a traffic circle.
My name's Dale Gunter. I live at 147 Woodwardia Glen. I've lived in that area since I was 13 years old. I've seen the worst of it. We fought for 30 years and got it under control a little bit. Now we're taking a big step backwards. Folks, I hear you about the annexation. You're just here to decide on that. But let me tell you, if we annex it, that gives the city a blank check of what they can do with it. And me and my neighbors, we oppose that. We oppose giving them a blank check. We ask you to please consider not annexing. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else that would like to speak in opposition to this application? Okay, we're back to the planning commissioners. We're back to the planning commissioners.
Mr. Chairman, in regards to application number 26-20022, current annexation request, current zoning RC, proposed zoning RMH, I make a motion that we move to City Council for approval. And to kind of kick off some conversation here, Maria, I know there's been a couple of questions about, water runoff, usage, things like that. Can you just give a quick brief about this to, address some of these?
I may have to turn to Thomas to get us a better history of what's happening.
I'm just going to make a few comments. I know I'm not going to address everybody's concerns behind me, but, and again, I'm Thomas Parrott. I'm the Director of Engineering and Utilities. A few things I do want to address. The first gentleman from Mallard Lakes, he actually spoke to me. What I told him was that this project has met all federal requirements, so it had to go through the full permitting process, NEPA and everything related to it. So as far as the wetlands and all that was addressed in that. That it was because of the roadway and everything related to it, it does require having bike facilities and pedestrian facilities. Did not say that it was required to have a median. That is a design parameter that came out of the whole process. So just want to set that straight. We did have a great conversation through that whole thing. So I know, again, it's nobody's favorite thing, and I'm not advocating here for it. I'm just here speaking about it. So as far as the flooding issues and the responsible, obviously it will be designed to meet all requirements from our stormwater, both local, state, and federal, and be responsible for making sure that our water meets those release requirements. As far as their issues that they're having, they are within a blue line stream, and that is where the water goes. We'll never stop the water. Water has to go where it has to go, and that is the drainage way through their properties. So in that instance, that's really the main points I wanted to make. And if you guys had any other questions about that, does that address what you guys?
Well, for the specific parcels at issue, is there any concern that converting this from natural to
there's
the proposed roadway as designed, that's going to increase this
again,
runoff?
all that'll be is addressed in the design, so it'll be captured in a storm sewer system, routed through ponds, and then released at a rate that was the same that it was prior. Does that make sense? So it'll release at the same rate for design storms for it's designed for a 2, 10, 25, 100-year storm events, and it will release at the same rate that it was during that same time. So no additional volume will be put on people that wasn't already going that way. So it's not like we're directing water is already going there. So.
Well, to the extent that's not true, there is recourse.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Could you maybe talk
Yes.
about the recourse?
We understand, but we want to keep the order here, and most folks have already spoken, so we're going to let the city engineer speak, and it's already back to the commissioners. We've already went over the guidelines, so if we'll govern ourselves accordingly, we'll very much appreciate it.
Well, I think something that would, just real quick, something that would really help is, can you please describe what recourse process there could be if there is runoff that shouldn't be going on? Like, what is the process that people should go through?
Not an environmental lawyer.
Okay.
So, no, I couldn't speak directly, but there are opportunities.
There's no internal process within the city?
As far as what exactly you're asking?
Any recourse process?
For
additional
water
runoff,
going
yeah,
through
like
their property?
yeah.
Yeah, again, they would file a complaint, and then we would.
Now, if this went
Go through
through,
environmental.
now if this went through, we would have to make sure that for this property, no additional water runoff would go. So
That would be the
we can't enforce it for someone else, we can't enforce it for us.
That would be the responsibility of the city, yes, if that's what you're asking, to make sure that no additional water is going
Okay.
through. We're not having more water leave our site than it was already leaving the site.
Gotcha. Thank you.
And our concern is this specific parcel. I mean, so for this particular parcel, or these parcels that are part of this petition, my question is simply, is there anything about the nature of the request made before us that you as an engineer don't believe can be appropriately handled through the required practices associated with stormwater treatment?
No.
There's nothing unique about this parcel that makes it extremely challenging, or that there's going to be, because of the slope of the land or the nature of the existing cover or whatever, that we're going to be dumping
No, I mean,
significant volumes as if this is converted to a roadway.
right, no, there's nothing, I mean, again, it goes through a design process to handle all the stormwater, to make sure that it's released at the same rate. That's all I could say. Are we changing the conditions? Absolutely. I mean, that's part of development.
Sure.
And that's not for me to decide whether or not this gets developed, so.
What additional measures are just going in place to keep it, I guess, the water being released at the same rate that it's currently being released? Like, you stated that it'll be going into storm drains. Is there an additional
So
retention
it'll be
area?
captured from the roadways, go through a stormwater pond. It'll be treated for that runoff. So it's got to be retained for a certain amount of time to make sure that, you know, everything settles out. So we'll treat the water, and then it'll release at the pre-developed rates.
So is that like an additional basin or what?
Yeah, there'll be 2 ponds associated with this. One of them is that larger square area.
Okay.
Can you just give us a brief overview of kind of how this is going to look?
That's pond 1, and then it actually doesn't show up at pond 2.
And is that on existing city property?
Yeah, those are on city properties, and they'll go again to the natural drainage way, which is that larger strip that's the outfall for Mallow Lake and that drainage area for that whole basin. So any drop of water that hits within that red area right now, it all goes to that same area, and that's where the water will end up going.
To maintain the water that the city will be
And as
adding.
undeveloped, there is no existing retention
No,
happening right now.
it's not. But obviously, again, I mean, I don't really want to get into hydraulics
Sure,
and hydrology,
sure.
but we are changing the landscape, which is why we have to put in the ponds to be able to hold it back to the way it was before. Yes, sir.
That strip that kind of heads up to the northwest, is that the natural drainage out of Mallard Lake?
Yeah, that's already city property, and that's our drainage way. We actually have a sewer line in there as well.
No
Again,
development's going to occur on that property per se,
abs-
I take it?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
You heard these concerns about multiple, with this zoning, at least identified the RMH, about a lot of different houses coming in here. I mean, is there, for this property in question, is there any intention for the city to actually develop this
Absolutely not.
beyond the right of way and the roads?
Correct, no. It'll, as Mario mentioned, it's kind of an administrative aspect right now. It'll come in the city, it has to come in with some type of zoning. I know you guys were talking earlier about no zoning. I don't know if that's an option. That's Mario's purview. But once it's built, then it'll turn into right of way. So it won't actually have a zone. So,
Any other questions from the commission?
Are you of the opinion that
I don't give opinions. But I'll answer, go ahead.
the proposed design would potentially address any of the concerns that have been presented tonight?
Will it address the concerns? I couldn't make that opinion. I can't give you an opinion on that, whether or not it'll address the concerns.
But it must mitigate the
It
flow.
will
off
mitigate
those
the development. Anything related to the road development will be mitigated through stormwater measures.
That's right.
As far as mitigating, that's a whole different ball of wax. No, this would not necessarily mitigate it. Could it? And would it? It should in the long run, partly because we will be holding and retaining water on our ponds, but I mean, I can't tell you what that would actually do or change.
Well, what you can say is my question is, can you say that by developing this in the fashion that the city is requesting, that they will have an obligation to retain any waters that result in runoff from this change in use?
Yeah, retain and release.
Right.
At the pre-developed rate.
Any other questions from the commissioner? Thank you, sir. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second that motion.
All right. Thank you, sir. We have a motion, and it's been made by Commissioner Clark, second by Commissioner Lycett, on application number 26-20022. The current zoning, RC, proposed city zoning is RMH. Are there any questions from the commissioners?
Well, I guess I'm a little confused where it's saying residential multifamily would be the proposed zoning, but it also says in the memo, no zoning designations needed for the parkway. So I'm a little confused about why we're designating.
Ultimately, we don't have to.
We don't.
That's what I was saying. It could be no zoning because it's all going to be part of the right of way.
Okay, so
So I would, we
Can
could just,
amend the motion to
absolutely.
Mr.
Yep. What?
Clark should do.
Yeah. Absolutely. Make that amendment.
So we're amending it to
Say no zoning?
have no zoning, understanding that the entire parcel be used as right of way.
Correct.
Okay.
I'll second the amendment if that's required.
Okay. So, you want to resubmit?
Yeah, sure. Mr. Chairman, regards to application number 26-2002 annexation request, current zoning, RC, proposed zoning, nothing. I make a motion that we move to City Council for approval.
Okay, thank you.
That's honestly a first for me. No zoning.
All right, Commissioner
I
Clark.
would just like to say, too,
Move
just-
that we move on application number 26-20022, and Commissioner Lycett, that we send this to City Council, and the zoning is no zoning. All in favor, let it be known by raising your hand. Okay, motion carried. The next item on the agenda is application number 26-60007, request by City of Aiken to rezone .11 acres at 346 Columbia Avenue Northwest, tax parcel 120-13-25-001 from general business GB to residential single family. Is there anyone here that would like to speak in favor of this application? Anyone here that would like to speak against this application? Okay. Back to the commissioners.
Mr. Chairman, in regards to application 26-60007, parcel number 120-13-25-001, I make a motion to approve.
I'll second that motion.
Okay. In regards to application number 26-60007, and this is another rezone request from general business to residential single family. It's been moved by Commissioner Epps, second by Commissioner Lycett. Are we ready for the question? All in favor? Let it be known by raising your hand. Next item on the agenda is item E, application number 26-60008, request by Jeffrey Ellis on behalf of the Wilcox Vacation Rentals. And this is from, excuse me, residential current zoning is residential multifamily low density to proposed zoning downtown business. Is there anyone here that would like to speak in favor of this application? You don't have to, no, sir. Anyone here that would like to speak against this application? Okay, back to the commissioners.
Mr. Chairman, in reference to application 26-60008, 117 Colton Avenue Southwest, I recommend the residential multifamily low density be changed to the proposed downtown business DB, and I recommend that we send this to the council for approval.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and by Commissioner Lycett and second by Commissioner Epps that application number 2660008, current zoning, RML, proposed zoning, DB, that we send this to City Council. Are we ready for the question? All in favor, but known by raise your hand. Motion carried, unanimous. The next application, item F, application number 2660009, and this is a request coming from the Media Spa for a rezoning from current zoning limited professional to proposed zoning limited business. Are there anyone here to speak in favor of this application? Anyone here to speak against this application? Back to the commissioners.
I move that we recommend to the council the approval of application number 2660009, rezoning the property at 1518 Two Notch Road from limited professional to limited business per the request.
Second.
Yes. It's been moved by Commissioner Carmen, second by Commissioner Epps. Application number 26-60009, current zoning LP, proposed zoning, limited business, location 1518 Two Notch Road. Are we ready for the vote? All in favor, let it be known by raising. Okay. And the next item that we have on the list is the amendment to the zoning ordinance regarding destination categories for properties located within the historical overlay district. Anyone here to speak against it? Anyone here to speak in favor of it? Okay. Back to the commissioners.
Mr. Chairman, in reference to the DRB's request to amend the zoning ordinance regarding historic registry property designation, I would ask that we table this motion until the next meeting with input and review from the DRB along with our planning commissioner group before we put this to a vote.
I'll second that.
And just in terms of discussion, I'd like to add,
Yes.
in our work session, we had some questions, including one, as we know, there's a review that's ongoing right now that will hopefully remedy this issue. We have a process in place that does allow for designations through the Planning Commission to be made. We've seen that happen a few times in the last year or so. Some with and some without controversy, but there's certainly a process in place that seems to work. My question would be, what inventory is there of existing properties that don't have a designation? That's one thing I would like to know. Also, in terms of this final paragraph of the proposed amendment, the ability to pause the process seems unilateral on the part of the DRB, and I've got some concerns as to what the right of the petitioner who's seeking the review has if they disagree, and what their recourse is to appeal or move the process forward. You know, since there's no explanation of what that pause would look like. So
Okay.
those are some of the questions I would have before approving this.
Any other comments from the commissioners?
Just to say that I completely agree with the questions put in by Commissioner.
Yeah, I would ask the planning director to forward those questions to the DRB for review and then report back to this commission before we would set it to a vote.
Okay, absolutely.
Get a second?
Second that.
You second?
Yeah.
Commissioner Connor? And Lyson. All right. On the last item on the agenda for the amendment to the zoning ordinance, it's been moved by, Commissioner Lyson, second by Commissioner Connor, that we table this with information going back to the DRB for its inventory destination, as well as the planning department will write up all the questions and we'll come back for review. Is that correct? All right. All in favor? Let it be known by raising your hand.
Okay.
Motion carried unanimous. Now we have a motion to dismiss.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconds. Thank you, gentlemen, for your time, and I appreciate all the comments. Y'all look.